Hi Year 11. So, I'm just trying to get the camera straight. So what I want you to do today is I want you to do this week, not just today you're going to start it, is to do a ceramicist artist research page on Kate Malone. So we're going to do 2 over the next 2 weeks. We're going to do Kate Malone this week, and then next week we are going to look at someone called Pat Short. If you go onto Firefly Resources Year 11, you will see a tab which says ceramicists. The ceramicists have all of those images uploaded, and also it has a A4 Word document, so you can print it all out, and it hopefully will make things easier. I haven't been able to print mine out in colour just because I've not got access to a colour printer, but if you can print it out in colour, then great. If you can't, don't worry. The first thing that you're going to do, so this was my A4 sheet, but obviously I cut it up. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to do your title. Now, the way that you lay this out, I'm going to leave it completely up to you. You've done plenty of artist research pages. You might decide to do the title there. You might decide to do it down sides. You might decide to do it handwritten. You might decide to use a stencil. That's completely up to you, but I've just done it really easy for everyone. So if you haven't got any tracing paper, you can put it behind and then attach that to a window and use that like a light box. You can also scribble on the back, remember like we done for Jim Dine, and transfer it that way. And then on that page, you will have a series of images. I've put the one that I think is the easiest to draw as the larger image. If you want to do one of the other ones, that's absolutely fine. For Kate Malone, the easiest one I thought was this one, because even though this is all printed in black and white, this is actually a black and white image. So it's a white part with spheres on, which you've all done in year 7, 8 and 9, and then you also done when you were looking at Escher, so I thought it would be something that you would be quite used to. So same applies to this. If you've got tracing paper, great. If you haven't got tracing paper, then you can put it against a window and use that like a light box to trace it. I'm just going to zoom in here. I'm going to pull this off, so I'll put it next to it. Now, when I've traced, you'll notice that I've made some other marks on the spheres and on the pot, and that's because that's where the shadows are going to go, and it's going to make it a lot easier when you come round to shading. And then really straightforward, I'll just zoom out a little bit more. Really straightforward, you're just going to start to add tone. I would do the body of the pot first, and then I'd go on to the spheres, but it's completely up to you. Okay, like so, blend it out. The inside is really dark, so make sure that you go full tone. The main thing that can go wrong with this drawing is that when you trace it, the spheres aren't perfect. Okay, do not rush the tracing because it won't look good no matter how well you shade it. Also, remember that spheres have got reflections of light, and the top of the pot will also have a rim, just like when you've done yours, which will be lighter. Okay, now I'm not going to demonstrate the whole pot because you know what you're doing. You've done it plenty of times before. But just make sure when you do any part of the drawing that you show what's in the background and what's in the foreground. So for example, this sphere here is behind the lip of the pot. So make sure that you get that edge in, that you subtly blend that out. Again, this is in front of this sphere here, so again, make sure that you're shading, and that in itself should take you at least 1 lesson to do. Okay, if you get to your second lesson and you're only halfway through, then you need to speed things up. I would be doing it a little bit more outside of the lesson time, just so that you don't fall behind. But at the end of each lesson, if you could just upload a photo of how far you've got, and then I'll be able to judge when people are ready to move on to the next one. I'm aiming for it to be next week. So today's lesson, I'll just quickly go over everything for you so it's really clear, and then you can get on. So today's lesson, you're going to first of all print out the image. If you haven't got a printer today and you need to get that sorted, then you can do the other tasks. So you could do the title, handwritten, and you could do the written research. But what I would like you to do, if you can, print out is the study, so the drawing of one of Kate Malone's pieces, whether it's this one, I'd say that's the second easiest one to do, and the title. And then throughout the rest of the week, you can display the page, you can do the written research, and if you've got time and you're aiming to get that 9 grade, then I would attempt a second study. It doesn't have to be the whole pot. It could just be a drawing of maybe one of the leaves on this image, nice and simple. And then the written research, I'm just going to read out what I've got so you've got a little bit of an idea. So the first paragraph, as usual, is factual. So Kate Malone is a British ceramic artist. She is known for her large sculptural vessels and use of bright, rich glazes. Nature is her main inspiration. Her work is based on land, sea, and even the magma underground. Second paragraph is my opinion and why it links to the topic. Malone is an artist whose work has clear links to the nature aspect of my project. I like her unique interpretations of nature and the exciting use of techniques and colours used when glazing. I know you can't see on these photos, but the glazes that she uses are gorgeous. Moving forward, I plan on looking at further ceramic artists before creating my design ideas. In your design ideas, if you haven't got a real obvious nature link like leaves, you haven't got any spheres on it that could link to Escher, then we can link in Kate Malone with your use of colour on your glazes. So really important, if you can, to print out the images in colour. So yeah, by the end of this week, you should have the whole page finished, and we should be ready to move on to our second artist. If you've got any problems, let me know. Thank you.